Alec Pollard reporting. Joining us to discuss is Dr. Eric Braverman. He's the founder of Path Medical Center. I mean, it looks like a little cherry that you can eat, but it's an actual heart. It's so cool. But am I getting ahead of myself? I mean, do we have a lot of obstacles to surmount before we get to the point where you can put it in a person?
Well, you know, heart disease kills everyone eventually. Our heart has to stop, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And they're in the position now of looking at organ grafts. So, you know, you get cartilage, and you get skin grafts, and you can get kidney grafts. And so you're at that point now where you're close enough to start heart patching. So the problem was that they couldn't get any blood vessels to grow. So now they have blood vessels growing. It's a long way to get a full human heart where you can get a transplant, which is so important for so many patients who have heart attacks and heart failure. So we have many steps to go, but I really learned something special here tonight when I studied it. I realized that, you know, when I used to stick a piece of wood in the ground and want a plant to grow up, they have all these little collagen sticks, which is basically like a ligament for cells to grow, and then they call it bioprinting, and it's really like, we used to think, well, maybe I can Xerox, but after a while, how long does the thing blur, like the chemicals blur? And then I realized they were taking it from the omentum, which is our belly fat, and I realized almost all of us grow fat because that's a source of stem cells and repair. So our whole body's getting fat all the time because we're running out of repair cells. And so I really learned a lot on how we're going to regenerate our whole body as well as our heart as we go.
So just to be clear, so the ink that's used in this, it's not the ink that's used on this printed paper.
No.
It's made out of, the ink is made out of cells?
Yeah, it's made out of cells.
How does that, explain how that works?
It's when they're calling it a type of ink, they're calling it like collagen. And so when people put collagen into your face, here you're putting collagen and proteins together, and it's already been programmed to turn into heart cells. And then the heart cells know to go in certain areas and create a little miniature heart.
Is it sort of like they're cloning themselves?
The cells are cloning themselves. They're Xeroxing or copying, and that's why it's called a printer, a 3D printer. And the future is going to be not just where he talks about the hospitals having quick organ making machines, but almost all of us will have storage of stem cells and repair.
Okay, 1 second. So then this is where it gets real strange and science fiction-y. I mean, are you envisioning a future where somebody has a problem with their kidney or their liver, they open the fridge and they pull another one out?
It won't be a fridge, and you'll never get around the fact that human beings are responsible for lifestyle, so you can't be irresponsible, kill your heart, and you may not have 10 hearts, but the reality is that Old and New Testament prophets have always suggested that we'd live to 100 plus, 1,000.
They were thinking of the 3D printing.
Yeah, they were thinking of the future of technology and in service of humanity, not to live horribly.
Not to jump off of buildings and then be able
to fill the hospitals with more sick people so that we can get more printers, but so that human repair and regeneration and resurrection would be a reality. And this time of year, people think in terms of regeneration and resurrection and restoration. The future of human restoration is fantastic, and this is just the beginning. When
we say future, what are we thinking of? 20 years, 100, 50 years?
Look, we all grew up on Star Trek, and they had cell phones, and then all of us, are working around now with handheld computers. I'm not able to predict the timing. He said 10 years. Could be faster, could be slower, but it's going to happen that human beings are going to have repair, extra kidneys, extra hearts, and be able to make them and repair them. But then there's a problem. If we can't fix how we remember, how we learn, how we sleep, how we have energy, if the brain can't sustain its lifespan, then we're in trouble. Because
so that's the next frontier, as we say.
Yes.
Eric Braverman, we so appreciate you coming on. Thank you. And now we'll look at some other stories